Now, let's do another pose called Utkata Paschimottanasana. It is very useful for conditions of leukorrhea or discharges, actually. So that's why I like to show how you do this pose. I'm sure you have done it before, but this time let's try to pay a little bit more attention to our, the asana is always thought to be useful for the Manipur chakra, but actually it's very useful, in enhancing, removing toxins from the body, especially, bring that homeostasis back into the system. Let's lie down in Shavasana. And then bring the hands to the side, and as you inhale, I want you to stretch a little bit, give you a good stretch. Toes towards you, toes away from you, just give you a good stretch. And inhaling, coming up, exhaling, forward bend. Now you may reach your knees, you may not reach. It's not a competition to reach. It's just allow it to go down. Keep the legs straight if you can. If you have no problems keeping the legs straight, keep them straight and bring your body towards the legs. And if it's hunch, it's hunch. If you want to go forward, if you find that's better for you, okay. But do not exert the back too much that it protrudes, bulges. This it should not be. So be mindful. At the same time, engage the area below the navel, exhaling, contracting. About 8 seconds. Let it fall. Let your head, neck fall. Exhaling. And inhaling, roll the neck up. You may use your hands to pull yourself up, coming up. Maybe this way, lengthening up first. And exhaling. Again, inhale. Inhaling, coming up. Lengthening up, exhaling. You may want to put something underneath to keep the legs bent if you need to, or not. It's perfectly fine, you may do that. Again, you may put a block under your forehead to support your head, because you can reach the thighs. Is perfectly fine. Exhale. That helps you to prevent from stretching your back. Exhaling. Inhale about 8 seconds, and then coming up. Be mindful about the area that you're working on, because it really helps to and contract your Muladhara chakra as you do that. Again, inhale, contract the Muladhara chakra, or the urinary tract actually also. Exhaling. Inhale. Exhaling. It's very useful for the women's organs, so please be aware of it. As if you're aware of this, you will optimize from these asanas rather than inhaling, exhaling, coming up, working up. You're thinking just on your muscles. It's not on the muscles. It really helps with the lower chakras very, very much. Exhaling. You may use it, you may not. You can add this routine to your evening asanas if you like to. Inhale. Exhale. It's about 8 times. Of course, you can do less than 8 if you cannot manage 8. Inhaling, as you lengthen, you find you're still engaging your Muladhara chakra, you're engaging. The entire thing is engaged. Lengthening up, giving space, exhaling. I'm going to do one more time. You can continue 8 times if you're doing 8 times inhaling. You see, when you do this, you're also massaging your shoulder blades. You're massaging the upper part of the body. Inhale and lengthening up. First exhaling. Contracting. Coming down, forward. Be mindful. Neck. Inhale, neck. Coming up. And exhaling down. Take a Shavasana in between the asana. One of my favorite pose is actually Bhujangasana. It's very useful. It's actually one of the best poses to do every time. In fact, every day. It really lifts your spirit, your mood, and gives you this kind of dynamism. At the same time, you are in focus. Now, Bhujangasana is very different for everybody. One of the very most effective ways of doing this Bhujangasana is actually the part that it stretches your pecs, your chest. Because in women, there are a lot of cases of problems in those areas, especially cancerous cells and all that. So so it's better actually. It is very good if you are able to do these asanas regularly, also to relieve a lot of tension and such accumulation of thoughts in the body. So let's go into a little bit of stretch, which I think is very useful in doing the asanas. But if by doing the asanas, actually you get that stretch. But most of us may not be warm up enough to do the asanas to give that stretch. So I want to include this in. This is really nice. Just bring your arms to one side and then turn. If you're stretching your right arm, you are dropping your feet to the right and just give that little bit of stay for a while. Stay in that pose. You can bring your arm back, the upper arm. You can even roll this hip a little bit out, but you might feel a bit strain on your shoulders depending how flexible you are. But that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is stretch this pectoral, these muscles. Just stay for a while. You could stay for a long time, but a little bit of 2 minutes is very useful. And you find that after some time, it gets easier to go with this stretch. The stress, it helps to do the pose easily. Just feel how this position allows you to relieve a lot of tension. You might not realize that there's a lot of tension built up in this area that affects our neck. We may use your knuckle actually to just give some massage, or even just your fingertips. If you're not familiar with the knuckle, to massage, you can use your fingertip and just under the clavicle. We find it's very nice to relieve this tension here. At the same time, you find relief in your back, shoulders, neck. There are lots of stagnation in this area, and very often we don't realize it until we get into the pose. Let's do the other side very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. Watch your knee. And then the other side. You need to give it some time. So, again, bend the knees, drop the knees. Bring your upper arm. If you want to go further, you may. And you may use your hand to massage the area below the clavicle. You can feel a little bit sore there. But later on, because it affects the microphone, just stay for a while. You can stay forever in this pose. It's really nice because it stretches my shoulder blades also very much. You see this area. At the same time, the pectoralis muscles. And slowly just come out of the pose. Now, bend the knees. Just stay for a while. And you like to bend your knees to the side, so you're like in a frog. So you're stretching the upper inner thigh of your legs. Just stretch. Arms just support your forehead. You can even do one at a time if that's trying for you. I'm going to make it short. You can stay longer if you wish. It's nice to just roll and come to the child's pose for a while. I'm coming to sitting because I want to show you one of the nice butterfly. Butterfly pose is always really nice to do. You could do it this way, or could just now we were stretching the inner thigh, so you could do it in this butterfly way too. Again, you can use some support if you need it. You could do one leg at a time. You find the stretch on the outside of the thigh as well as the inside of the thigh in some cases. Yep. Slowly come out a bit. I really don't want to come out of this pose, but anyhow, I need to show you Bhujangasana that I wanted to show you from the beginning. Alright, let's do some Bhujangasana. Bhujangasana is always different for everyone. In fact, all of us will look different in Bhujangasana. So I would like you to just get into the pose to understand how is your Bhujangasana is how you should feel, how you should optimize from the pose, and not doing it looking like someone else. Or you should look like someone else, or you should look like that sort of pose. So just be mindful so that you can realize, you recognize the areas of stagnation, the areas where these asanas is very useful for you. So just realize the parts of the body that affects or the how the asanas affects the different parts of the body. It really engages the entire part of the body. It's quite overall. Now, just pay attention to your entire body that's lying on the floor, from the toes pressing to the ground. The legs are together, knees, lift the knees up as you do the pose, lift the thighs up, pelvic bone, pelvic area below the navel is engaged when you go into the pose. And see the parts of the body is touching on the floor. Now when you just bring your neck down to the chest, and as you inhale, coming up, just looking up at the ceiling. It doesn't have to be all the way up. It can be any part of the ceiling. And recognize the areas of the body that gives you that straining. 5 seconds and coming down. Now it's place your palms where you find it's more convenient for you to optimize from this pose. Inhaling. Focus on one point at the ceiling. And exhaling. Exhaling. Now as you inhale again, the next step, engage the area below the navel. Your back is sort of relaxed. Breathe through the upper back of your thoracic ribcage, and then as you roll up, inhaling, you may support your body, your chest forward, open up the chest, palms pressing to the floor. Exhaling. Your palms may be nearer to you if you like, so you could feel the strength of your upper back as you go up. Or it could be out of the mat, because this mat is not meant for your size, not necessarily same for everybody. So you could be inside the mat or outside the mat. Now inhale. I want you to, the stretch is actually all the way from the pelvic area. Inhaling. This inhalation and exhalation please breathe in and out through your nose, because it helps to bring this oxygen to the nitric exit to those areas you're breathing into. So if you're focusing, if you understand the effects of these asanas all the way from the entire body, even from the pelvic area, you see how it can rejuvenate our reproductive system and the well-being of the women's body. At the same time, stretching the chest area. Exhaling, engage the below the navel, coming down. If you want the palms away further, inhale. I'm rolling my neck so that it doesn't tense my neck when I go up in Bhujangasana. Exhaling. Legs are together. The thighs of the inner thighs, inner legs are engaged. Your buttock is engaged. Inhaling. If you find that you don't need to roll the hips, you can just come up. As you don't have enough, you don't have the tension, that's fine. Open your eyes. Your eyes are not closed because you're directing your eyes to look at the ceiling. Exhaling. Just bend the knees. You may go into child's pose, or you may just go into the Shavasana pose. You can place your palms on your belly, on your body, or you may place them by the side like the traditional way of putting your arms by the side. Both ways, you should be relaxed. The neck should be relaxed, the shoulder blades. Another pose, which is the essential, is also the Yoga Mudra. You all know that. We will do it now. I want you to see the difference in some of the poses, how you can do it. You could use a blanket to sit on it if you want to, because you need to sit on it for some of us. If you do not need, it's perfectly fine. If you find it's really difficult to sit on the floor because it's very painful, because it really presses into this area as well when you do it. So you may want to have something comfortable. It's perfectly fine if you wish to do that. So I'm just showing how to do it with a blanket. And you may want to sit on it. Some of us cannot sit on the floor. We may sit on the block. It's also fine. But try to find you're sitting in cross-legged, okay? And holding the wrist. Now, this is actually very nice to do. And it's actually very difficult to do. So, if you want to do it nicely, do not put yourself into a condition where you exert yourself too much. Just take it easy. Make a feast of your hands. This feast is important to actually pull the shoulders forward, the chest forward. So keeping the spine upright. If that's difficult for you, then you may not do it so straight. But holding it, the pressure is a lot, actually even on the side. It gives a lot of pressure on the side of your ankles. And be careful about this pose. That's why when you're pregnant, the 3 basic asanas are actually prohibited. In fact, asanas are prohibited during pregnancy. Of course, you can do some stretching and all that, but the asanas in particular are prohibited. Now, so holding your arms back, inhale first. As you exhale, very slowly now remember, you're a woman, bring attention to your areas that you need to pay attention to. Bring the body closer to the legs. You may bring the forehead to the floor if you reach. If you do not reach, it's perfectly fine. It's fine to stay like that. Exhaling. And inhaling out. Now, you might find some strain in the neck. If you don't like that feeling, you may want to release it. So inhaling coming out and then exhale. So you may have that strain in the neck. If you don't like, you can release the neck and go down. Otherwise, you can stay at that position. Engage your abs, engage the area below the navel. And coming up. You see, as you come out, you're actually pressing to the floor with your ankles. Your feet are pressing to the floor. But you use your arms to help you come up, upright. Again, exhaling. Inhale and then exhaling. It can be very straining on the legs. So some of us are just up to here. It's not necessarily you have to go all the way down to feel the effects of the asana. It's very powerful. It's simple, but actually it's very powerful. And you may change your legs if you want to, if you've done 4 rounds. But not necessarily. But I find useful because sometimes you tend to be one-sided when you do it. The arms are not so much of an effect. It's the same. It's not that it doesn't give you that difference. And exhaling. Inhaling. I'm just going to do one more time. So exhaling, engage. Again, just like Dirghapanam, do not exert your back too much. Make sure that this weight is not going all the way down to push the back, but you're going all the way down because you're able to inhale. Actually, it's one of the best poses to prepare yourself for meditation because the way that it's done. You might not realize it, but it's very powerful because it also works on the spine a lot. So, and it's surely not during pregnancy. Right, so we have done Yoga Mudra.